loosen my tie.
Yeah, of course.
If you don't mind.
Be as comfortable as you can.
Should I wait until the next one? Hereby disclaim and release and relinquish any and all claims and actions and lawsuits that I or my dependents. I have kids.
It's an experience. Hey, Mili here, back with a third installment of the University of Miami Student Government Hot Seat. We got some hot questions and hot sauces. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Josh Friedman, the Senior Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations here at the University of Miami. How are you doing today?
It's great to be here.
So, how are you with hot food or spicy food?
You know, I actually don't know.
Okay.
I thought I was okay, but I read some of these labels. I'm a little afraid.
Okay, well, we'll get through it together, so
Okay.
don't worry about it. So, as you guys know, we're going to eat a spicy chicken tender after each question that increases with spice as we go on. So let's just jump right in here. So tell me a bit about your role as Senior Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations here at UM.
Okay, so am I supposed to eat the tender or answer the
yeah,
question?
sorry.
All
Yeah,
right.
First the tender first.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Now, what am I eating, by the way?
This is Frank's Red Hot.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell me a bit about your role as Senior Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations.
So my role is to work with our fundraisers and our teams representing every college, unit, and medical group in the university. We connect with alumni, we connect with parents, we connect with people that care about Canes Nation. We engage them, and we encourage them to find places within the university that they care about to make gifts to support.
Okay. So a bit the backbone of this university, trying to get all the support and whatnot.
You know, I think great places run off of resources.
Okay.
And this is a great university, and it's doing tremendous things in the world.
course.
And great things do require investments.
That is true.
And we have bold vision for where we want to be going forward. And it's a real pleasure to be able to talk to people that care about the work that we're doing and want to make real change in the world. And we're just a fantastic partner to be able to do that.
Yes, sir. So we'll move on. So now we have Queen Majesty Red Habanero and Black Coffee. So it's a little step up from Frank's Red Hot, but
Okay.
it has a little bit of flavor in it, so I think you'll like it. So
Okay.
cheers.
So how much is this one going to
So this is about 1,400 Scoville units.
Oh, okay.
And which isn't too bad. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's very flavorful. I like that.
So it has a bit of a kick to it, but still
A little bit.
little flavor. So while you've been here at the university, what has been your greatest accomplishment so far, and your favorite standout moment with an alum during any point here?
Well, I think my greatest accomplishment, I would say, is being able to. That actually is pretty hot. So I would say a great standout moment. Last night was one. And what I love about the University of Miami is every day I'm experiencing something new. So last night was Winter Wonderful, which is a tremendous gala put on by the Frost School of Music.
Okay.
And it was unbelievable. I was surrounded by musicians. There were choral students everywhere in the room. It's true stereo surround sound. On stage, we heard students, not just our students, but high school and middle school students who were being trained by students of the university, and they were so incredibly inspiring. It was beautiful, and it really made me feel not only a great sense of gratitude for all that the Frost School is doing, but to be surrounded by these incredible musicians. Last week was another activity. I was with some people who were scholarship donors and was able to connect with them and some of their scholarship students. And to see the gratitude in the eyes of not just the students, but the donors for what they were able to do and be able to support these young men and women. It was fantastic. I was sitting with someone that is interested in coming to this university to become a professor. And we were talking about why they would be interested in coming to this university. And as someone who is new here myself, to hear someone like this who has done all these incredible things with their life and their career. They published at the highest level. They're doing research at the highest level. And for them to passionately make the case for the University of Miami.
Come here to.
Oh my gosh. Well, as someone who made that choice myself, it just
Exactly.
made me feel so good. And that's what's just so fantastic about being a fundraiser here at the U, is you get to engage with all of these different constituencies and all these different kind of people. But they all have something in common. They love this university.
Exactly.
And so every day is different, but it's a real blessing.
Yeah, I bet it's always great to hear about just the different levels of talent and just want to be here at the university, and just passion that we attract here every day at the U. Like you said before, with the performance, you had people from all different levels, from middle school to high school, and they all just wanted to be here. And it's always like very heartwarming and a great experience to see that.
That's
happen.
exactly right. And if you think about this is not a huge university. People think we are massive because we walk tall.
Exactly.
But we're actually a pretty small university. We have so many choices.
And we make
so many
big
schools.
impacts.
I know, it's unbelievable. And that's one of the things that fundraisers get to do, because we might not be able to cure cancer ourselves, but we get to work with people who are. We might not be able to, be fantastic engineers, but we work with fantastic engineers, or people who are creating at the highest levels in the arts. We get to be with these folks, and to help them do what they do so well. So it's a pretty good feeling.
Level. So is there any standout moment from any special alum that you've met while you've been here, or anything like that? Like, any story that you'd like to share?
You know, I've heard all sorts of interesting stories. People that have been married here, people that have that met their loved one here on campus. But one that I really do think is a particularly amazing story is Patty and Alan Herbert.
Okay.
So you might know the Wellness Center.
Yes, sir.
Of course.
I need to know it a little better, but
So Patty and Ellen met here 6 decades ago.
Wow.
As undergrads, and their love for each other and their love for the U has been intertwined throughout the course of their whole life.
Wow.
And over many decades, they've been involved in everything from the business school to the Frost School. They love students more than anything else. And one of the things that I've really loved about their story is hearing about their idea for the Love Bridge. So I don't know if you know about the Love Bridge. That was Patty's idea. And as they were building the Wellness Center and she was looking at this bridge, she thought, what could we do to help people really tell their story about the U? And she had this idea that you could actually put a brick at the base to talk about how you fell in love with someone here. And I just love that.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple of our donors who have celebrated some wonderful milestone anniversaries. And you know, what do you give someone who has spent 50 years with someone else?
Exactly.
Get them a brick at the Love Bridge. And
So it'll be there forever.
They'll be there forever.
Exactly.
That's incredibly meaningful.
Every day, the strength of our alumni base always astounds
Oh
me, and
my
just
gosh.
the depth of our alumni base.
Yeah, you
with the
can't
passion
walk
thing.
through the airport
Exactly.
with this on your lapel without
seeing
someone coming up to you.
Exactly. So let's go on to our next sauce. It's called Pain 100%.
Okay.
We are now jumping.
Why do they call it that?
We're about to find out. We're jumping about to 40,000 Scovilles, but personally, I feel like this still has a little bit of flavor in there, so hopefully it won't be too bad.
This is the last of the flavored ones?
We're getting
It
there.
just moves to pure pain after
yeah,
this?
we're getting there.
All right.
So before Miami, I know you spent some time working with NPR as the Senior Director of Individual Giving. So why don't you tell me more about your time there and what your most interesting experience was?
Right. Just a moment.
Yeah, no, take your time.
Yeah. So at NPR, I worked,
It burns a little bit. You can try some milk. It helps a bit.
No, I feel like I'm going to save that. So at NPR, there are member stations across the country. I worked for NPR in Washington, D.C. And I'd spent a lot of time traveling to small stations and large stations, some of them really tiny, like 4-person stations, but providing an incredible service to their community. At NPR, we'd produce a lot of the national shows, like All Things Considered or Morning Edition. And one of the things that I loved more than anything else was being able to take someone on a private tour of NPR and be able to bring them into the studio as All Things Considered was going on, live, right in front of them.
Yeah.
And if you're a fan of the show, it's really an incredible moment to see the hosts right there, hear the music, and see them reading the news to the entire nation, to tens of millions of people across the country, and to be in the room while it's actually being created. I am going to have some water now.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
hot.
It lingers a little bit.
One of the moments, though, that I'll always remember was they were taping a segment for Morning Edition Saturday, which is Scott Simon's show. And he had a news commentator named Dan Shore, who was in his 90s, and he was a very famous NPR person who had been with the network for decades. I believe Dan Shore's career started with Edward R. Murrow back in the day, and he was sitting alone in the studio waiting for Scott to come in, and he was just singing quietly to himself in French. And it was just this very quiet moment of this incredible journalist who had won every journalistic award, just sitting by himself, composing himself before going on and delivering what was one of the most incredible conversations about some very difficult politics that were going on at the time. But you know what I came to appreciate about NPR was the personal experience that you have, and that, you know, it's a broadcast medium. We're in a broadcast studio in a school of communications, and we're talking to dozens of people, maybe, if I'm lucky. NPR was talking to millions of people. It was a very personal experience. It was the experience of being alone and listening to your radio and feeling like you knew that person and they knew you.
That you were there.
And you were there. And it's changed the way I try to communicate. Even if I'm sending emails to a lot of folks, I try to write as if I'm writing to you. And I think there's something powerful, even at a time when we're talking to so many people at once, to remember we're also talking to individuals.
There can't be anything overstated about the personal aspect of just everyday communication.
Not at all. Not at all. It all comes down to relationships.
Yes, sir. So we'll move on a little bit. The next will be Torchbearer's Zombie Apocalypse.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is where it gets a little into
good.
the danger zone, as we like to say.
Good. Well, I'm glad we're getting there now.
Yeah. It's definitely okay to take smaller and smaller bites as we go on.
Oh, is it?
It definitely is.
So what's like there's an expiration date. I think this stuff would last forever.
This is at about 100,000 Scoville. And just to reference, jalapeno peppers around 3,000. Not to scare you.
No, jalapeno peppers are 3,000.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah. This has a pepper that I don't even recognize the name of. All right, let's do it.
There's nothing. So, sorry, wrong bite. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. I feel you.
Yeah, I know you had the opportunity to travel and live all across the country.
I want to loosen my tie.
Yeah, of course.
If you don't mind.
Be as comfortable as you can.
Should I wait until the next one?
No, I mean.
Oh, I better do it.
From doing your undergrad at Johns Hopkins to working at the Arizona State University Foundation, how does living in Miami compare to everywhere else you've been?
Oh, it doesn't compare at all. This city is unbelievable. Wow. One of the things I love about Miami is this is a city that wears its diversity on its sleeve. When I was coming out here and interviewing, I was sick, which is not what you want when you're doing interviews. No. But it always happens. So I'm not feeling very well. It's the end of a long day of meeting a lot of people, and I'm heading back to where I'm staying. and just not feeling well. So I stop at a CVS. And I like buying all the stuff you buy, and I go up to the counter, and the person at a CVS addresses me first in Spanish, which is, now perfectly normal, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I'm moving from Arizona, which has a not insignificant number of Latinos in state.
Okay.
And that wouldn't have happened in Arizona. I think that there's something about Miami that just embraces people from all over the world, lets you be who you are, your authentic self, meet other people, and be able to connect with those people.
Exactly.
And that's really special. And I think if more places in this country had that kind of interconnectivity, I'm not saying that everything's perfect. One of the things about Florida is that it's a state that's not yet made. It's not yet set. The structures aren't locked in, which means that sometimes things can be pretty messy. But it also means there's a lot of opportunity. There's a chance to do things that you can't do elsewhere.
Exactly.
And I find that really attractive. I find that really exciting.
There's power in the fluidity.
I think so. And yes, there's some chaos, but in that chaos, you can make something.
Exactly.
And that's harder in other parts where, if you didn't come over on the Mayflower, that those structures get locked in
set.
long before we got here.
And I think sorry.
It's all right. It is hot.
Yeah, there's something to be said about, it's all about the little things, the little personal relationships, the little things out of your day that just stand out.
I know.
That are multiplied in an area that you're not familiar with, and that is as diverse as Miami is, and continues to hopefully grow.
And attracting people from all over the world.
Exactly.
Whether you're coming from Venezuela or Colombia or Brazil or from Europe, people from all over the world are coming to this city to make something. And that's a good thing.
Yep.
Especially as a fundraiser.
Oh, I bet.
You want more people here
Exactly.
trying to make things.
And you want more perspectives, and nothing can go wrong with when you have more perspectives in the room, get every side of.
And think about this, how many cities are there like Miami where there is only one you? I mean, first of all, there's only one
There is
you.
only one.
There's only one you. But we are the university that can engage with them in the way that
Exactly.
we can. There are wonderful institutions of higher learning in South Florida, but we are unique in our space, and that's really powerful.
I wholeheartedly agree with
I'm
you.
gonna try some Coke. I know you
I
told me not to
you
do
can
it.
go for it. Let me know how it is for future reference for myself.
Well, it's not so bad.
Not too bad? Okay. Remember, we have the bread and the tomatoes here as well if it gets a little dicey. So we'll move on. We are now at Da Bomb,
Okay.
120,000 Scovilles. My personal favorite, I say favorite very lightly,
Okay.
but it's an experience.
Oh man. Okay. It says it's beyond insanity.
Beyond insanity. I'm not sure what lies beyond insanity, but I guess we'll find out.
Wicked beyond belief. All right.
Almost out of it.
Cheers.
Cheers. Obviously, you've had a lot of experiences with fundraising and giving.
How are you doing that?
Just trying to power through it right now.
Man, oh my God. All right.
Obviously, you've had a lot of experience with fundraising and giving through being a certified fundraising executive and through tremendous accomplishments, including being a director of development for the Nobel Prize winning Physicians for Human Rights. If you had to sum up how to have a successful fundraising campaign in 3 steps, how would you do it?
So the first thing is you need to have a vision for what you want to achieve. And it needs to be a vision rooted in what you have already done, but it needs to be bold. And you need to have a plan for how you're going to get there. The second is you need to be engaging your donors, people that you want. I'm reaching for it. All right, I gotta do it.
A little bit at a time helps.
You need to be engaging your donors. If you're just asking them for money, you're going about it all wrong. The truth is that people want to invest in things that they believe in and that they are already invested in, that their sleeves are rolled up and they're doing the work that they're a part of. that they get the change that you're trying to make because they've been engaged in that change. So you want to be engaging. And the third thing, and I think this is the most important, is you need to work with volunteers. If you're a fundraiser, your staff, you might have a vision, you might know how to put pieces together, but it's different than if you're a peer. And if you're a peer, asking a peer to get involved and to become a part of something, that's a very powerful thing. And so if you've got an amazing vision that you know how to achieve, if you're engaging your donors and they're a part of that solution, and you have strong volunteers that are helping facilitate those solicitations, we've got a formula that can work.
Awesome. So, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling.
You're feeling? Exactly. The tomato actually helps a little bit.
Okay, I might need that.
But, so, we've reached the end. The final sauce. Mad Dog 357, 357,000 Scoville units.
Wait a minute, what's this one at?
This is at 120,000.
Isn't there like something in between? I mean, are we building toward? What are we building towards here?
We like going to fast. We're right in there. Intensity. That's what the U is about. So, it's tradition on the show to put a little extra on the last one. This is completely voluntary. You don't have to, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
So usually I just kind of put some on the plate and dab it. Ooh, that's a lot. If you would like.
I hereby disclaim and release and relinquish any and all claims and actions and lawsuits that I or my dependents. I have kids.
They'll have a wonderful video to remember you by.
God, is there any like pre-law students in the room? You're a pre-law student.
I am.
Is this legal?
We haven't been sent any letters yet, so.
Not even from anyone who's taken this challenge?
Nope, not yet. Dr. Whiteley and Dean Holmes are still walking pretty healthy.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, like 40 miles a week, I think.
Yep, around there.
Oh my God.
So a little dab.
Okay.
Very small.
Well, let's just hold on a second. Let's ask another question.
You want the question first?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
ask another question first. Grab your napkin here, just so I can wipe the tears.
Of course. So, your role at the University of Miami is a huge one, and your list of accomplishments are incredible. But one thing that comes to mind is that it's not a high amount of student interaction on a day-to-day basis, and that's not just limited to you, but a lot of people because of the location of the Office of Alumni Relations.
Right.
So, what's the most important thing that you want the students to know about the Office of Alumni Relations and the work that you guys do?
Well, the work that we're doing is for students. At the heart of a university are its students. There are research institutes in the world. There are amazing medical centers in the world. Universities exist because of students, for students. That's why we're here. And I work in the Newman Alumni Center, named after two incredible donors to this institution. That building is for students, and you will be alumni. It is your building. It is your house.
Yes, sir.
And so I would say, one, we're here to support and help you. Two, fundraising is an amazing career. And something that has allowed me, I'm a history major, and I loved history, but I've gotten to do so many interesting things, and I've gotten to meet so many amazing people. I've got to see parts of this country I never would have seen, and listen to people and hear their stories, and to get to know them. And that doesn't matter whether they grew up in New York City or a small town in Central Florida. I've really gotten to have a very rich and wonderful life because of fundraising, and get to be at places like the U, a place that is literally changing the world every single day. And that's the students who are doing that. And with that, let's do this.
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
Cheers.
Cheers. There's no flavor to that.
Nope.
It was just pure evil.
I would like to meet the person who makes this and just want to know why. So, you've made it. You made it through the gauntlet. Yeah, you're on the other side a better person, I hope. More respect for some sauces. And I would like to thank you for coming on this show and being a part of this and supporting the University of Miami student government.
Oh my gosh.
And
This has been a real pleasure.
no, thank you. And we have 3 cameras here that you can let the students know anything you want them to know, anything on your mind, or just something that you would really like to share with them.
Okay. Well, I'd just say that it's a pleasure to be here, to be part of Canes Nation. I'm really proud of all the work that you're doing, all the work that my team is doing, and that our alumni are doing around the world. Thank you so much. This hurts like hell, and go Canes.
Go Canes. And thank you to University of Miami Dining for the wings and the University of Miami School of Communication for this studio space that we can shoot this in. So thank you. Love you. Go Canes.